Previously on the Infinite Escape Room.
If it's wet and it's made from honey, I will drink it.
As a bald person who regularly unclogs the bath drain from a person with a lot of hair.
Can all be freakishly tall.
Some sort of perverted gimpware.
Sexy.
Hello and welcome to the Infinite Escape Room, the puzzling podcast where a bunch of geographically diverse chums come together, have a drink, and work together to solve a homemade escape room of the ears. I'm Ben Lever-Griffiths, and this week I am drinking a Hoegaarden, which is, as you all know, a favourite of mine. And joining me this week, we have...
I'm Laura, and I'm drinking a non-alcoholic Copperberg because I'm trying to behave.
I'm Dom, and I'm drinking a Hobgoblin because I don't believe in not drinking for this podcast.
Is it a regular Hobgoblin?
It is the Hobgoblin Ruby.
Very nice.
But I do like their range. My favourite is the King Goblin, but I'm also trying to be good, and that's a bit heavy, that one.
That, if memory serves, is basically the same as Hobgoblin, but stronger?
Yeah, I think they basically just reduce it in a pan for a couple of hours.
Chewable Hobgoblin.
Yeah, Hobgoblin gravy, it's great.
That would have, if we do another Dungeons and Dragons type episode, that has to feature, surely.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we begin, I'd like to thank our Patreons for their continued support, and I'd like to give a very special shout out to two of our supporters, Maggie and Will Ryder. Thanks very much to the both of you for helping keep the show on the metaphoric road.
Sorry, do Maggie and Will share a surname, or is Maggie a single name person like Cher?
I believe that Maggie is a single name person like Cher.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I respect that.
Right then, just what is the Infinite Escape Room? Well, it's like any other escape room you may be familiar with, but this one reaches across all known themes, retail parks, and dimensions. And, because it's infinite, there is no end. Every room in the Infinite Escape Room links into the next, in one big never-ending escape experience adventure. Each week, one of us will present a part of the Infinite Escape Room, while the others try and solve it. If you don't escape within 30 minutes, then terrible things shall befall you, and if you break anything, you will lose your deposit, which this week is steering wheels.
Oh, no.
Okay. Is there a story there, or...?
Fine on Roman roads, crap everywhere else. Are we ready?
Aye, Captain.
And then let's enter the Infinite Escape Room. Last time on the Infinite Escape Room, our super solvers were trapped in some sort of superhero laboratory. After mixing up a super serum, they raised their fists and double-punched the doors open. Outside, they were greeted not by a dense canopy and wild turkey dinosaurs, but by a large statue of a reclining lion. All around, the deafening cacophony of double-decker buses, tourists babble, and pigeons shitting uncontrollably. Above the lion stands a giant sculpture of 5 interlocked circles of different colours, under which hangs a giant banner that says, "The end is nigh." It appears you've landed in Trafalgar Square in the year 2012, smack bang in the middle of the London Olympics and 5 months before the impending Mayan apocalypse. It's not a difficult word, but I struggled saying it. Without you really noticing it, the pigeons have stopped shitting, the buses are nowhere to be seen, and the square is eerily quiet. A figure on a moped pulls up beside you and hands you a note, then rides off.
Thank you for coming in at such short notice. The previous organiser showed up on time, but threw a wobbly when he realised he was being paid in chocolate coins and not real money. The opening ceremony will be coming past at 20:45, and you must get the next Olympic torch ready and have it on the pedestal on the south side of Nelson's column. We don't know where the torch is, or anything about it really. I'm sure you can sort it all out. If you don't get the torch to the pedestal on time, you will be declared public enemies for embarrassing Great Britain in this glorious hour. Hopefully, I don't have to tell you not to get the torch wet.
Looking across the road, you can see a clock on one of the buildings. It reads 2015. It looks as though you've got half an hour, and your time starts now. What would you like to do?
So we're still in the square with the lions and the...
You are, yes.
Take a look at the lions?
You can do. Would you like to have a look around the square more generally?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There are, of course, the fountains, one to the east and one to the west. You've got Nelson's Column sitting towards the south of the square. Between the two northern lions, there's a build-up of rubbish. There's a few other statues dotted around the square, which, if you've been there, you may be familiar with, but would otherwise appear to be set dressing in this puzzle. To the north of the square, there is the steps to the National Gallery, and at the foot of the steps, there appears to be some works going on. Around the square, there are a number of benches, and it appears that there is a bin in each corner.
Pins.
Might got this down.
Are the benches in any specific arrangement, or are they just abstractly dotted?
Dotted around.
Okay. So their location isn't necessarily important.
No.
What type of works is going on at the bottom of the stairs?
You trundle over and have a little look at the works at the foot of the stairs. You can see there is a hole dug into the ground, and there is a large umbrella covering the hole. Would you like to have a little look inside the hole?
Yeah.
Inside, you find that there is a wooden box.
What's within the wooden box?
The wooden box has a padlock on it, but it's mostly disintegrated, and you reckon you can get it off without breaking it. Opening the box, you seem to have found some sort of time capsule. You have a stack of very stale-looking biscuits, a flat cap, some early Victorian coinage, a map, and a teddy bear. I'm going to plop the map into the chat now so you can see what Trafalgar Square roughly looks like.
Oh, man.
I don't know if someone wants to roughly describe what is there.
Okay. So it's not square, but it is oblong. We've got stairs to the north. We've got fountains to the east and the west. We've got column at the central south, flanked by 4 platforms. We have got a note at the side saying, put some bins and whatnot around the sides. And then we've got a note to self, which is specified as illustrative, not literal, of a build list saying fountains first, column base second, column third, Nelson fourth, and lions last.
Okay.
Do you think we can use that build list as a list of for in order to investigate things?
Why not? Let's do that. Makes more sense, I think.
Okay. Would you like to look at the eastern or the western fountain first?
East?
Excellent. I've just got to remember which one the east is. Looking at the eastern fountain, you see a very decorative fountain. It is on. There is sort of a plume of water being cascaded out of the top of it and running down the side. Looks like a lovely fountain.
Are there coins in its basin?
Sure, yes. You see that there is coins, silt, and other detritus in the base of the fountain.
So if we need silt. You said we found some Victorian coinage in the time capsule.
Yes.
Does it look like I would be breaking the puzzle anyway if I threw any of that into the fountain?
I don't think so at all.
Cool. I flick a probably priceless coin into the into the cistern.
It plops and slowly floats to the bottom.
Nice.
Lovely. Let's check out the other fountain.
The western fountain looks basically identical to the eastern fountain. However, looking closely on the underside of one of the fountain's bowl, it looks like there, behind the curtain of flowing water, you can see what looks like a locker.
A locker, like at a gym or a swimming pool.
Yes, yeah, like a metal box.
And can we reach that?
If you wade into the fountain, you can.
Well, I threw the coin in, so I think, Laura, you should.
I'll climb in the fountain.
Yep.
Clambering into the fountain, yes, you can indeed reach the locker. On closer inspection, there is a hinged door to the locker, but it has been padlocked shut by a lefty-righty combination lock, ranging from 0 to 24.
Okay. Is it Is it of a size that it can be removed from the fountain?
No, it is very firmly affixed to the fountain.
Right. So we can't get the torch wet. So we've got to make it avoid the fountain.
I think the umbrella from the hole might come into play a bit later for keeping the torch dry, but
Oh, yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. What was next on the list? The base of the column. Should we go check that out?
Yeah.
The base of the column is made of stone, fairly unremarkable, aside from as the aforementioned litter gathered around it.
Does the litter look like it's been placed there or like it's accumulated there?
Like it's been accumulated there.
Anything of note that I can see without rooting?
Rummaging around.
Okay, rummage.
You get rummaging or rooting. You find some empty crisp packets and the like, but also what looks like a timetable for some Olympic events.
Oh, this is a lot. Do I have to read all of this?
No, you could just roughly describe the page.
Okay, so it's got 28th of July 2012 Olympic events. And then we've got timings. It's a table, 3 columns, which is timings, events, and then specifics about the events. So like who v who, I guess. I don't know enough about sports.
So the time, the name of the event, and then sort of the type. So, for example, the first one is 9:25 is archery, and it's the men's team last 16. So I think this is the type of event. Yeah.
Yeah, like weightlifting. It says it's flyweight snatch. What does that mean? Anyway, hopefully this is completely irrelevant and it's nothing but a red herring.
I can tell you that this is a sample of the actual 28th of July 2012 Olympic events. Copy and pasted from some random website I found.
Oh, good. And then made integral, presumably.
Can neither confirm nor deny at this stage.
Okay, well, I guess we hold on to that.
Yeah.
The
Column
Should we
itself?
put the rubbish in the bins? I mean, we've been told about the bins quite a bit.
We
There's
could
a lot
put
of
the rubbish in the
rubbish
bins. Should we do
I don't know
a
if we-
quick check of the bins? Maybe see if we want to throw in rubbish on top of anything?
Let's take handfuls of rubbish as we go so we can try and tidy up a bit.
Which bin are you going to first and what direction are you working in?
All the bins are around the corners, aren't they? It was the benches that were scattered randomly. Should we go top left and go clockwise, do you think?
Yeah.
Cool. You take some fistfuls of rubbish with you. The bin in the top left is surprisingly completely empty. You note, sort of looking around, that all the chairs appear to be nowhere near the bins, and far more chairs than there are bins. So perhaps it isn't surprising that it's empty. You deposit some rubbish in there. You feel good.
Nice.
Working around to the top right bin. The bin is not quite empty. In it, you find a note. Apologies to listeners. I think this is the last thing to be sent, but it's a little.
What, the listeners? What about me? Okay, this one is for Laura to try and explain.
Okay, so it's looks like a scrap of paper. It says women's 4x100 meter freestyle relay. Is it Shaito versus Francisca? Judo, bow and arrows, men's middleweight and dressage. There's a little picture of a doodle of a man's head, as it were, and a bit of a scribble. And then there's a second, fourth, sixth, first, third, and fifth with arrows ahead, pointing ahead, in different directions in front of them. A swirl, a squiggle, and then start at 0 obs. Which is, yeah. No idea.
Start at 0. So first would be left, but then why is that out of order? Left is second, left is fourth, right is sixth, left is first, right is third, and right is fifth.
Oh, is this for the turn in the lock? It's a
Oh,
directional lock.
But then how much by start at 0?
Yeah, and then you
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Should we give that a go?
can.
So I guess we start at 0.
Hang on.
So you're climbing back into the fountain and having a go at the lock on the locker, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
For how?
You're getting wet.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, start at 0. So I guess we. So what? We go left first, and I mean that's.
What are you going left to?
Well, that's what I mean.
It may be helpful or entirely unhelpful to point out at this point that you have everything that you need.
Of course we do.
Okay. I eat a Victorian biscuit.
It tastes of very little.
Oh, interesting.
You're sure that later on you may feel slightly queasy.
Okay. Right, well, let's have another look at this list of events then.
Yeah, I'm looking at against. So where it says in the note, the women's 4x100 free meter freestyle, 4x100 meter freestyle relay. I can't say that word.
So
on
that's
the timetable, it's
2043.
2043. Yeah. So I'm trying to see if I can find out.
2 minutes before our time runs out.
Yeah. And then the other one, the two names, I can't see any of those names in any of the. Ah, there we go. Fencing.
Yes, they're at fencing. Yeah, 1320.
Just gonna see if these mean anything. Then it was judo, isn't it?
So in that case, it would be. Hold on. So we've got the women's 400 freestyle relay. That was what time? That's 2043. Then what was the next thing? So fencing was 1320.
Yep. Judo is
1407. Oh wait, was there bow and arrow? Oh yeah, bow and arrows is next.
archery is 0925 was the archery, wasn't it? It's the first one.
925. Men's middleweight is 2312. And dressage. What does that mean?
Equestrian. It's the dancing horses. It's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay.
It is. They make the horses dance.
I have no idea why it's called dressage.
Me neither.
'Cause it doesn't feel like the correct word.
They have to dress up all fancy and they make the horses dance.
Okay, so now we've got a list of numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that would mean second number would be 0 to the left, then 0 to the right. Sixth, no, there aren't 6 numbers in this. So
There are 6.
there's 6 of these, yeah.
Yeah.
That so the arrows and the numbers lines up, but I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with it. It's like, what would left second be?
Do we have to add the times up, maybe?
Yeah, we can give it a go. So that'd be, what's that, 9?
You've got 13 minutes left,
Oh,
which
God.
feels like plenty.
Does it?
Well, so it's 9, 6, 12, 16, 8, and 1.
So what were you adding up just there?
Just totaled the times that we've got a list of.
Was that like just the hours or?
Just adding up all of the numbers involved. So
Okay,
2043 became 9, because 2 plus 0 plus 4 plus 3.
Oh, I see. Right, yes.
Okay, so that's useless.
So that's not
You hear my scribbling. Here we go. So we've got. I think it corresponds to our list of second, fourth, sixth, first, third, and fifth, because it's the same number of.
Yeah, there's 6.
Starts at 0. It says.
And then second to the left. And the second one is dressage.
Oh, you don't think it's in the order that we had them listed?
Because the times, because dressage is the second event to happen. I'm not sure if it's the one.
Oh, I see. I assumed that because they're listed top to bottom
Yeah.
on this note, it would correspond to that. So it would be 2043, 1320,
Could be, yeah.
1407, 925, 2312, and 10. But I don't know. Or the order, of course, is. Oh, I've just realised we've got colons down the middle of that, haven't we? Does that help us? Do you see what I mean? Down the middle of our list.
I was wondering if I was
So
just
if that
separating
did
it from the arrow, but
Doesn't help that I didn't write down the timings with colons in, but they have them on the table.
So sorry. What are you thinking, Dom?
I've just noticed that there's colons, and I'm excited about the correspondence, really. But so basically there's colons down our times, separating, for example, 20 from 43, and we've also got colons between left and second. But I don't know how that really helps us at all.
You have a third place where there are colons, which is illustrative.
fountains first.
Oh, fountains first, column base second. Aha! Oh yes, illustrative, not literal. Okay, so in that case, what order do we have? So first would be. I mean, yeah, that's all we've got is another list of 6 things that correspond, but I don't know what that's got to do with our timings.
Me neither.
Any ideas, Laura? I'm really only here for colourful commentary.
I was going to say I'm only really here for my looks, and I was like, it doesn't really help on a podcast.
Well, they don't know that.
He looks very good, listeners.
I'm trying to work out what that is, but because there's only 2, 3, 4. There's 6 things on there, but there's only 5 things on the map, isn't there? So there's fountains, column.
Also, we've got the column base as well.
We got the fountains, column base, column, Nelson, and Lions. That's only 5 things. It's first, second, third, fourth, and last. Well, there's 6 things on the list.
Yes, but then we've also been told to start with 0.
Yeah, but there's still.
So, because if we included 0 as one that isn't on the build list, so something would have to come before first. But I don't know what.
I guess that if you just set the lock to 0, and then the first, whatever of those numbers that you want to go to first, would be done counterclockwise or left.
Because it says because it's left for first.
And then presumably for the 6th number, you would land on it going clockwise or to the right.
Yeah, just working out how to get the numbers. So, yeah, the arrows are denoting the direction we need to turn the dial in, isn't it?
Yes.
So I'm just working out where we go.
Probably.
But to what number? We've got our big old list of numbers, but I'm not sure what to do with that.
Can I recommend
Please.
exploring your I was going to say, can I recommend exploring your colon? But explore the colons that you've got again. Yeah, let's go with that for now.
Okay, so we have
and maybe what lies to the right of 2 of the lists that you have.
So if we ignore the left-hand side, then in terms of the numbers, we've got 43, 27, 25, 12, and 0. What number? But that doesn't work because the dial only goes up to 24. So it can't just be those because we've got that 43 that's in there and the 25.
Do we need the numbers that are that side of the colon, not by the point the arrow's pointing? So like for second, this is first on the list. Is pointing to the left. So do we need the numbers that are left of the colon? So 20.
Oh, I assume that would be our direction that we
but we could go that direction to 20, then back to 0. Then we could do the next direction to 13, and then go
that
right.
Works.
But go right to 7 because the numbers on either side tend to match.
That I can tell you right now is an accident.
Okay.
Thought that was the thing.
Take a look at the right of the list on the note, the colon list. Look at the right of that list on the note and also on the map. What's sort of special about what is on the right-hand side of both of those?
2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5. Oh, it won't close. Oh, there we go.
There's this numbers, isn't there? Positions, as it were, I think. But
yeah. So the one on the map is in order: first, second, third, fourth, last. So if we reorder the second one or the first one,
because there's not the same amount of things, is there?
No, we've got 6 in one
and 5 in the other.
Yeah.
With 5 minutes to go, would you like another steer?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So on the map for the build list, on the right-hand side of that, we have an order of the colon to the right. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Fourth and last.
Yeah.
They appear to be in order, but they are an order. And on the left-hand side, we have things. These happen to be sequential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then we've got last, whatever last means, presumably 5. If you have a look at the note, on the right-hand side, we also have an order. It happens to be out of order. This one also appears to be sequential.
So if we reorder the one on the notes, what we get is... no, that can't be right because I haven't got enough things here. So hold on. First is left. Second is left.
You have a third list with colons. You may like to apply similar logic.
Third list with colons.
Yeah, 2043, 1320, 1407, 925, 2312, and 10. So to reorder those, that would mean that 925 is first, 2043 is second,
1320.
2312 is third, 1320 is fourth.
Why is 20? Why is
fifth?
Why is 2312 third?
Because it's top from the list. No, in the one on the note that tells us second, fourth, sixth, first, third, fifth. If we're trying to reorder them based on that. So 2312 would be third, and then 1407 would then be sixth. But again, I don't know what to do with that.
No.
We've been told the left-hand numbers aren't as useful as they seem.
Looking at your timings, you've selected 6 times out of the list.
Yep.
All the other colon-based lists that you have, on the right-hand side, there is an order. On the left-hand side, there are values.
So it's the values on the right-hand side we want. Oh, the left-hand side, sorry.
So in that case, start at 0. The order then would be
left to...
So there'd be 10 for 14,
Then it's
23,
right to 23. Left
13, 9, and 20, right? Is that correct?
Would you like to give it a go?
So that would be left 10, left 14, right 23, left 13, right 9, and right 20. I guess we'll try that.
Wheeling those numbers in that order, in those directions, into the padlock clicks open.
Oh, thank goodness. We've at least made one step.
Inside the locker, you find the Olympic torch.
Oh, nice.
Right, so should we grab the umbrella from the hole?
Yes, good thinking. We need to have it ready on the pedestal on the south side of Nelson's column.
Yeah, so we stick that under the fountain to get the torch out, and then peg it across the other side of the road, south of Nelson's column, holding the umbrella in front
Wonderful.
of it.
We don't need to light it, do they? They turn up and do that.
You presume so, yes. Placing the torch onto the pedestal, you hear the din of the opening ceremony around the corner. Should you get out of the way and hide? I mean, you're soaking wet, and it surely wouldn't look that good on TV. You hear a gentle roar behind you, and the sound of stone grinding over stone. Looking around, you see one of the reclining lions is now rampant, and the block it was on has moved to one side to reveal a set of steps leading down below Nelson's column. Gently lowering yourselves down into the darkness, the passageway closes behind you. Down, down, down you go. You stop going down, and a dim light flickers on. You find yourself in a dusty room. A sign nearby reads, "The British Museum Extended Vaults." A digital calendar on the wall reads 20th of December 2012. How did you fast forward in time so quickly? Will you escape the potential Mayan apocalypse? Find out next time. Congratulations, you have solved my puzzle. With 39 seconds to spare.
And I have to say, Ben, I think you're doing yourself down by saying we solved your puzzle. I think all three of us solved your puzzle there.
I apologise. I really struggled with this week's puzzle.
You struggled with it.
And I thought by adding, I quite like this idea that you'd have some times, and on one side of the colon there'd be a value, and then on the next side there'd be an order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was also slightly hell-bent on things being as historically accurate as possible, hence why you actually have accurate times. If I changed anything, I think what I would do is have made the times that you had sequential, so you'd have had like 10:01, 14:02, 23:03, 13:04. So you could just see 1, 2, 3, 4, do it in that order.
Yeah.
Because I think that massively hindered what I was trying to get at. I did originally have the arrows on the note, running first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, but I wanted them to be out of order so that you went, oh, there's this colon thing there, and the thing on the right-hand side might not be in the order I expect it to be in.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect rational sense, but I mean,
as soon as it's explained to you.
Yeah, and it's more just that I wrote down moped, biscuits, flat cap, and teddy bear, and it's just like moped. So every time I look down at my notes, my brain would just go moped, and I'd forget what I was supposed to be working out.
Yeah.
That was our instructions, I think, were dropped off via moped. So I wrote down moped and damned myself.
It's always interesting. I try not to put too much, generally speaking, in my intros that somebody could take away as being part of the puzzle. Everything, aside from the general setting of the scene, specifics should be given to you in my puzzles after the and what would you like to do. But I'm always wary that I don't think other people do that. And so I'm always like, I'm listening to the intro, I'm like, do I have to note down that? There's a scrap of paper mentioned. There was a nut and a bolt mentioned. There was a banana floating in jar. Is that important? And it rarely is, but sometimes it is. Sometimes you get a text the previous day saying some nonsense stuff.
Well, I think if you're going to be as specific as mentioning a moped, then I'm going to write down the word moped. I mean, there was no reason for that fella to be on a moped, so
Yes, London things get delivered
That's
on
a
a moped.
noticeable detail that you've told me. You mean you didn't tell me what he was wearing? You didn't tell me what his age range was or anything like that. All I got was that he was on a moped. So that's a noticeable detail you've brought up.
And you've assumed detail there as well.
You did say he, I think.
I don't believe I did. A figure on a moped pulls up and hands you a note.
Yeah, well, that's... But, when was the last time you saw a woman on a moped?
Thanks very much for listening. You can subscribe to us on all of your favourite apps, feeds, iTunes, and at our website, www.theinfiniteescaperoom.com. You can follow us and get in touch via Facebook and Twitter at @tier_podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, and we hope you did, we'd be much obliged if you could leave us a review on iTunes or Facebook, as it's massive help in reaching new audiences. And as mentioned at the top of the show, we're also on Patreon. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/The Infinite Escape Room, where you can listen to episodes a week early, have your name mentioned on the show, get unedited episodes, and more. We love you lots, and we hope to see you next time in another Infinite Escape Room. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.